Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and I'm going to demonstrate how to make two different neck scarves that are really quick and easy to make. I have this one here, which is a long scarf, and you can just leave it hanging down around your neck, or you can twist it around your neck twice. What's unique about it is it's a twisting scarf, so no matter how you lay it, it looks like it's twisting around and around. And then here's this tube scarf. Again, you can make it any length you like, and I'm using decorative beads at the very bottom of each end. So let's get started. The amount of fabric you need really depends on your height, how long you want this scarf to come down. So for me, I'm 5'1", and the fabric that I purchased was just a little under 60 inches. So it was perfect for me. But for those of you who are taller, you either need to look for fabric that's wider than 60 inches, or you're going to need to purchase a little extra fabric to get it to the length that you want. So when you buy your fabric, and I'm using, it's not exactly a chiffon, but it's very similar to a chiffon fabric. It's sort of transparent. You can see through it a little bit. So I'm going to fold my fabric together with the selvage edges together. Now when you're working with chiffon fabrics or anything like that, it's very slinky. It's hard to keep it from moving around. So take your time smoothing the fabric out. Don't stretch it. Take your time folding it in half and trying to get your edges straight. So you would cut this edge straight if it's really off, and then move over 18 inches and cut it. Now, if you need extra length, you would go over another 18 inches and cut another 18-inch wide piece. So for most of you, a half a yard is good. For some of you, you may have to purchase another half a yard, so 1 yard total. You're going to lay out that strip of fabric, and you're going to have the pretty side of your fabric facing up. Now, most chiffons, there's no difference between the front and the back. They're usually a solid fabric. But because this is a print, one side was a little lighter than the other. So lay your prettiest side facing up at you. Then fold it in half. So you're taking the two long edges and fold them in half. And then you're going to pin all along that edge. You also need to leave a small opening so that you can turn it front side out. So I've put 2 pins on each side of it. That's to tell you, please don't stitch there. Then you're going to stitch anywhere between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch. It just depends on you how wide you like your seams, and stitch from one end to the other. If you are having problems stitching your seam, I recommend putting tissue paper, nothing heavier than that, just tissue paper, and it will help your fabric slide under your presser foot and also help to prevent any gathering or puckering of your stitches. When you're done stitching, all you have to do is just tear the paper off. Now I'm using beaded fringe at the end of the scarf. Remember, you don't have to put anything down at the ends of your scarf. But other suggestions are our little tassel fringe, and even pom-pom fringe you could put at the bottom. But I wanted this to be a little elegant, so that's why I chose these. I purchased my beaded fringe from Etsy.com. So cut a piece of beaded fringe that is this width along here. And then you're going to place it, the ribbon, against the edge of your fabric. And you can see the beads right here. You want those facing inside of your scarf. So pin it all down, all your edges, and then I recommend you use a zipper foot to stitch it down, because you want to get as close to the edge of the ribbon on the inside. You don't want the ribbon to show, or very little of it. And then of course stitch right along that edge, and you do that at both ends. After you're done doing all your stitching, reach in through that opening and go down to each end and pull it out through that opening. So here's what it looks like at each end of the scarf. To close the opening, fold the edges inside and pin it closed. Now you can close this up one of two ways. You can either machine stitch close to the edge. This seam probably isn't going to show because it'll be on the back of your neck. Or if you know how to do a ladder stitch, you can use that. It's a hidden hand stitch. You can't see it on the outside to close it up. And if you don't know how to do that, I will have a link below your YouTube screen in the description section for that tutorial. So this is perfect for me because you can see on my length, it comes to a good length for me. So you can just leave it hanging straight down, or you can just fold it over a little bit like this and let it hang. You can tie it any way you like. Okay, for scarf number 2, the one that is twisting and looks like it's already twisted in the right way, no matter how you put it on, you're going to fold it in half. You've cut the fabric the same way. Fold it in half, right sides together, pretty sides. Pin your longest edges, and you're going to leave an opening up near the end, one of the ends, not both ends, but leave an opening where you can turn it front side out later. Don't forget to put your tissue paper underneath if you need to. Go ahead and stitch all the way down. When you're done, just rip all of the paper off. So after you stitched from one end to the other, remember you have this little opening here that's near one of the ends. So right now you want to have this opening and this end near you. Then you're going to reach in through this opening here and reach all the way through to the other end of your tube. And when you get down there, you're going to grab that end, right here, and pull it in through your scarf. Now you're not going to pull it all the way out. You're going to bring the ends up here and match your edges together. So here's your seam right here, and I've got the seam at the other end of the tube here, right next to it, and then you have your two folded edges of the other side. So I'm going to push the folded edge into the center as well as the seam edge. Now I'm using these weights to just hold the edges of the outer tube in place for me while I do the twisting of the scarf. So you're going to take the seam and the folded edge and you're going to take a hold of it and twist. So there you go. So you've got one twist. Then you're going to do it again. Take one side, push the other side over, and twist again. You're going to do that about 6 times. When you're done twisting, make sure you have the seam side of each end of the tube pinned together over here. And then you just pull it apart, and here's where the two folded center sections would be. And then continue pinning all the way around it. Now I've still got selvage edges on this fabric that I didn't cut off, so I'm going to stitch just inside of my selvage edges, or at least stitch 1/4 of an inch seam all the way around. And I would put the tissue paper when you're underneath your seam when you're sewing this. Go to the opening on the side and begin pulling the scarf all the way through. So here it is, it's all done, and you can see it just continually twists around itself. And you can just put it up over your head and let it dangle like this, or you can wrap it around one more time. Now I also have a tutorial on this scarf where there's pom-pom fringe on all sides. And again, you can make this any length that you want. So if you're interested in viewing that tutorial, scroll down below your YouTube screen to the description section. Click on Show More or the down arrow, and you will see various links appearing. I'll have beginners sewing projects, plus a playlist for my tips of the week, and even a playlist for my cross-stitch tips that are coming out. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.